Fam, make sure y'all like the stream. I'm JayeDeBlack, your channel, live channel host. Shout out to everybody that's here tonight. Thank y'all for being here. We're going to get into this. We're going to get into a lot of different things tonight. Hopefully y'all had a good weekend. This was Easter weekend. I don't care what mentally depleted Joe Biden said. This was Easter weekend. We're not acknowledging that other bullshit. Shout out to everybody who had a good Easter. I know somebody who didn't have one. We're going to talk about P. Diddy, the diddler. We're going to talk about the fact that reportedly he's $100 million in debt due to all the properties that he owns. I saw he owned what? He took out, 8 mortgages? I mean, what? Living off borrowed money. Y'all got to understand, and maybe y'all already do, Bad Boy hasn't produced a platinum recording artist since Biggie. Now, they have had some artists come through the pipeline since, right? French Montana might be the most obvious. But, he's been living off those Biggie publishing and others, That's why he gave that publishing away, because it didn't make him any money. I wonder, did he give Biggie's mother or family, did he give Biggie's family back his publishing? I'll wait on that. Salute to everybody that's here. Moderators, channel members, Patreons. Thank y'all for being here. The Rumblers, the people who subscribe to me on Rumble. I do plan on posting exclusive content to Rumble, so make sure that y'all subscribe over there. Over on the Rumble channels. Y'all know YouTube is declining. And, you got to go to other platforms. And I've told y'all this. I'm everywhere. So make sure y'all go subscribe to those Rumble channels. Salute to everybody that's here. Hold on, let me get shout outs. Hold on, let's see where. J. Thomas, Darlene was good. Accounting Tom, Sydney, LaHomer, Keith, Cake, XL Pro, Slim South, Chris, Kojak, B Fierce, Marshan, Control, Michael, Beefer 95, Rider Wise, that's how you pronounce it. Collection of Dark Thoughts, SMH, Cake, Dab, Fred the Jammer, Eric Square, Cliff, Vern 85, Dr. Rico, Hot Rod, Southern Charm, Mall MC, Rodriguez Jackson, Jean Marie Rochester, what's up, Joseph? We gonna get into it. Shout out to Mossy. Says been binging your videos from months ago, past few days. You wise beyond years on relationships and other topics. Thank you, Mazi. I appreciate that, man. Or Massey. I hope I pronounced it right. I appreciate that, bro. I've been working almost 10 years on YouTube, man. I may stream on X sometime soon, Mall MC. I want to stream off Rumble. I want to do it simultaneously. But Rumble just might be something I just do exclusively. I'm not a big fan of just streaming on like 10 different platforms. I'm just not a fan of that. If you want to see me live, come here. Everybody's here. 10 years I've been at it. 10 years went by quick, I'll tell you that.
Been binging her vids from months ago, past few days. You wise beyond YRS on relationships and other topics.
Appreciate it, man. Salute to you. Jay, I made 5 years at my job. Okay, shout out to you, Charm, for doing that. I know that takes work. A lot of work, no matter what field you're in, all right? Yeah, X is very profitable. I've been thinking about it. I just have to, get to a point where I do all that. But salute to everybody that's here. We're going to talk about Diddy, man. Diddy's in trouble. Oh, Diddy's in trouble. Over 100 million in debt. Y'all got to understand, a lot of these celebrities borrow money. What's good, Young Jay? Coma was good. Make sure y'all like the stream. A lot of these celebrities like Diddy borrow money because you got to understand, Diddy don't got platinum selling artists every year. This is why y'all wonder why Diddy makes music. Diddy makes music because none of his artists under his label are making music currently that people are buying. So Diddy has to go to work. Diddy goes from being like a producer, an executive producer, and a collaborator to now he has to produce his own music. No, his parties are not cheap. Diddy's parties are not cheap. Salute to everybody that's here. Salute to everybody that's here. Diddy's parties are not cheap, and that's why he is reportedly in debt. But as I'm saying, Diddy had to roll his sleeves up. He had to go back to work because none of his artists are making money for him. So he had to go and make music himself in order to be able to make money off of. But he has an expensive lifestyle, the mansions. He got a mansion in LA and a mansion on Star Island. He probably has an expensive home in New York. Other properties, I'm saying, and he's 100 million in debt reportedly. That don't surprise me because again, he does throw a lot of parties. He has a private plane. As a matter of fact, he was renting another private plane? That's not cheap. He's throwing all these lavish parties. Now, I'm not going to say Diddy wasn't making, because he was. He had deals. He had a liquor deal. He bought into Revolt. So he had money. He had other ways he was making money through business dealings that he had. He was living off that money. He was a billionaire based off of his assets and what he owned as far as, publishing and other business ventures. That's what made him considered a billionaire. But again, that really doesn't mean anything. Augusta Souza, appreciate you being here. Shout out to you. Shout out to Brazil. Chantil, what's up? Gary was good. Appreciate that, man. East Point. When you take out loans, ladies and gentlemen, when you take out loans, you got to pay it back. You got to pay it back. You can't take out loans and not pay it back. What's wrong with you? And that only adds, because again, you can't fight cases and then worry about your financial situation getting worse. Appreciate it, Gary. Because that's what's happening. You see, the way the government goes at you, it's a full-on attack. Now, they want you to be at your weakest, so they go after your money. Try to freeze your accounts, try to stop you from getting money from different sources because they want an easy W in court. They want to take away your money supply. Do I believe Diddy is broke? I don't believe Diddy is broke, but I believe that he's been living off other people. He's been living off the money of others, whether he's borrowing from people, whether he's selling. He just sold off shares of Revolt. He settled with this liquor company that he was working with for a time. But he's been living off borrowed money. And now it has come back to haunt him. Because when you get into these legal situations, one of the first things you need is money. Now, some of y'all may say, Jay, I don't believe you. I don't believe this. Okay, well, I'm going to show y'all this article from the NY Post. This is the article here from the NY Post. Y'all see it? What does it say? It says Sean Diddy Combs owes nearly $100 million in mortgages on luxury LA Miami mansions raided by the feds. This information comes out because of the raids. This man is out here borrowing money to pay on these houses. But this is why he has to go back to work. He has to make music in order to pay those loans off. And that's what he was doing. Because you got to ask yourself the question, why would this guy be making music? Why is Diddy making music? It's because he has to go to work. You know? He has to go back to work. That's what happens when you borrow money. You got to pay it back off. Shout out to Trevon Livingston. Appreciate it, bro. And that's what he's been doing because he is in debt with those banks. And those banks will take you to court. Shout out to Misa.
Two things can be correct. Biden sucks. Trump sucks. Diddy bad person, but I won't celebrate a black man being done this when non-black men get away with worse like Bill Clinton. It's okay to be neutral.
I appreciate that. Listen, you could be neutral. I mean, I'm not saying y'all have to pick a side, but again, I'm not going to side with this guy. There's plenty of other black men who deserve more respect and deserve more of support than Diddy does. Diddy has done a lot of people dirty, even his own artists. He's not going to get my respect. I can respect what he's done as far as Bad Boy and what he did in the early 90s, early to mid 90s, late 90s, but I can't respect him as a man due to the things he's done over the years. Not everybody's lying on Diddy. The feds are not raiding him just because he's black. This man has gotten away with a whole lot, and we're going to get into it because, you know, there are people that say that the guy was a criminal informant, telling on other black people. You see, they'll let you fly close to the sun. They'll give you all the protection, but they'll take it away from you just like that. Just like that. You know, I'm not a defender of black people regardless. No, you're going to have to earn my support and respect, no matter who you are. Because I've seen people at their worst, and I've seen people at their best. Diddy has shown me that he's on that worst spectrum. You know? So, but you're right. And again, you don't have to take a side. I'm not telling y'all what side to take. You know what I'm saying? It's up for what y'all decide to do. I'm just giving you the information, just like I do on my videos. It's up to you to decide what you want to do. Did I agree with the way that they broke into Diddy's mansions? No, I did not. And I told y'all this on the last stream. I did not support the way that they broke into those houses with them people in there, with his children in there. I don't care if his children are adults or not. They're still his kids. And they were treated like criminals when they were there for him. So, as you say, two things, you don't have to, you can see the problems on both sides of the argument, Okay. Now, according to the NY Post, it says Sean Diddy Combs owes nearly $100 million in mortgage payments on a trio of mansions in Los Angeles and Miami that were raided by federal agents this week, according to a report. The embattled rapper took out 8 bank loans. Y'all see this? 8 bank loans. Living off borrowed money. Living off borrowed money. 8 bank loans. Do y'all see this? 8 bank loans. Diddy, why are you taking out 8 bank loans on two of those mansions? Maybe you just need to sell one of those mansions. How about that? Totaling a whopping $140 million to pay for the sprawling properties because he's trying to keep up appearances. But he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire that's borrowing. The Department of Homeland Security searched the homes on Monday as authorities investigate a range of allegations, including trafficking against the 54-year-old music mogul whose Forbes estimate will be worth roughly $1 billion. Combs bought his LA home located in the elite Holby Hills neighborhood for $39 million in August of 2024. August of 2014. According to the Daily Mail, the estate includes 8 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, and an underwater swimming tunnel, which is very interesting. But damn, 8 bedrooms, but 11 bathrooms. That's very interesting. It's a lot of bathrooms. And this is the mansion here. Do you really need all that? Now I know he got a lot of kids, so maybe, I can understand you having one mansion because you got a lot of kids, family, okay. But to have this in LA and Miami, why don't you just sell one of the homes and just make the other one your main compound, right? What do you need 2 mansions for? Except to keep up appearances. This man did not need 2 mansions, and he had to take out 8 loans just to pay on both of them because he has to borrow money. He ain't got the money to pay the mortgages on those places. So he gotta take out loans. As you can see there. To fund the elaborate property, he took out 2 mortgages from the Bank of America, each for $25 million in 2014 and May of 2021. The outlet reported neither appears to have been paid off. The former mortgage is due to be paid off in full in August of 2029 and the latter in May of 2036. Man, I don't think he's going to be able to make it that far as making those payments. The bank may end up taking them mansions, man. Shout out to DHP. Remember, it's not about how much money you make, but about how much you spend. It's easy to lose wealth with private jets and 4-season hotel. Yeah, and Young Miami, right? Like they talking about how Young Miami was getting about $200,000 a month. Like, bro, you could spend half of that on some of these heifers. Some of these Instagram heifers, like, they go to Dubai for like 20,000. They go to Dubai for like 3 days for 20,000. So, 10,000. Some of them getting about 10,000. I've seen. You know what I'm saying? You giving Young Miami 200,000 a month plus whatever other expenses.
Remember, it's not about how much money you make, but about how much you spend. It's easy. Lose wealth with private jets and 4-season hotel rooms.
That is true. Appreciate that, DHP. In addition to the LA pad, he also purchased 2 neighboring mansions on Miami Beach's exclusive Star Island. So this fool purchased 2 neighboring mansions. Why did you need, what's the other mansion for, Diddy? Why did you need to buy 2 neighboring mansions? What's going on? Is the part? He must be doing a lot of partying over there on Star Island. He got to buy 2 mansions, 2 neighboring mansions. He went and bought 2 neighboring mansions. Man, he getting this party on, man. Just imagine the stories and what those walls have seen. For one of the Miami properties, a 9-bedroom and a 12-bath waterfront home he bought from Sony Music head Tommy Mottola for $14.5 million in 2003. He's taken out 5 mortgages totaling $68 million. 5 mortgages, $68 million. What are we doing here? Make sure y'all like the stream. We getting into this. So far, he's paid off $42.35 million, the Daily Mail reported. The 10-bedroom, 6-bath mansion next door was purchased in July of 2021 from Gloria and Emilio Estefan for $35 million. For that property, he only took out a single home loan for $20.7 million with Bank of America, due to be repaid by August of 2036. What do y'all call those type of loans? Because he took the loan out in 2021 and it's due to be paid off 2036. So that's a 15-year mortgage. He took out a 15-year mortgage to pay for this house. That means across Combs, Los Angeles, and Miami homes, he's taken out 8 mortgages worth a whopping $139.85 million. Roughly $97.5 million remains outstanding. The music mogul likely has other properties throughout the country. He probably does. Diddy has not been charged with any crimes amid the ongoing investigations. An officer with the Department of Homeland Security told the Post that the case has been active for several weeks, and authorities believe that there is a disturbing history of trafficking, said the Miami-based officer who spoke under condition of anonymity. At least 4 Jane Does and 1 John Doe have been interviewed by New York prosecutors in connection with the trafficking allegations in a RICO case. Listen, I have a feeling he may end up taking out more loans to pay off those houses. If Diddy really had it like that, I don't think he would need to take these loans out. I'm sorry. Maybe an extra 5 million, 10 million if he didn't have it, but 20 million and 25 million he took out, and another 20 million and more. He, buying mansions just cause he can, buy them. Bro, you're living off borrowed money. Borrowed money. And what the feds are going to do is they're going to make sure that you can't pay on those mansions. They're going to tie you up in court and make sure that they come after you financially first to cut you off. And that's going to make you lose those homes. You fighting this case, they're going to try to go after you financially. These people are not billionaires. They're billionaires in the value of the stuff that they own. So if you're looking into a celebrity's net worth, you're going to look at his houses, his cars. They're going to add all that into it. Business ventures, investments. They tie all that in there. But a lot of these guys really don't have it like that. They really don't. Now, let's see. Restore. It's crashed. Now, Diddy ended up selling his Revolt stock to a friend. Yo, look at this headline. Yo, this headline is crazy. Diddy may be down bad, but he did secure his bag. This headline is hilarious. They're like, Diddy might be down bad, but he did secure a bag. Maybe he did. But is he going to pay those homes off? He owes over almost $100 million for them. You're like, yeah, he might be down bad, but he secured the bag, though. Sean Diddy Combs is no longer an owner at Revolt TV after selling off his shares to an anonymous buyer for an undisclosed amount. The hip-hop mogul is seeing a drastic fall from grace due to a series of assault and misconduct lawsuits and allegations of operating a trafficking ring. Amid the mountain legal woes, which included having his home in Los Angeles and Miami raided on Monday. Sources say Combs decided to officially separate himself from the media company he founded in 2013. Yeah, that was a backhanded compliment to Diddy. Sources say Combs sold his Revolt TV shares to an interested buyer, but made sure the company remained black-owned. TMZ reports the anonymous buyer wants to remain unknown for the time being. However, it makes sense given all the negative press surrounding the company's former owner. According to insiders, Combs and new Revolt boss share a passion for black culture and want to keep the deal under wraps until a formal announcement in the near future. Combs was reportedly notified that the sale was finalized this week. There will reportedly be no staff changes. Revolt CEO Detavio Samuels and Chief Brand Officer Dion Graham will remain in their current positions and assist the new owner until they implement their vision for the company. The sale comes after Combs stepped down from Revolt TV last November following a series of shocking lawsuits from women accusing him of assault. At the time, the media platform released a statement announcing that Combs' departure as company chair. Sean Combs has stepped down from his position as chairman of Revolt. While Mr. Combs had previously had no operational or day-to-day role in the business, this decision helps to ensure that Revolt remains steadfastly focused on our mission to create a meaningful content for the culture and amplify the voices of all black people throughout the country and the African diaspora. So he wants to keep it Pan-African, whatever, you know. Yeah. But, you know, at least he wanted a black owner. I ain't got no problem with that. You know, you want another person that looks like you to have ownership of it. I have no problem with that. I mean, but are y'all watchers of Revolt TV? Do y'all check out the content over there? Amid news of the Revolt sale, it's been speculated if Combs knew a federal raid was on the way. Many were shocked to see video footage showing federal agents, including Homeland Security investigative officials, conducting coordinated raids at his two homes in Miami and Los Angeles. The raid came 1 month after a music producer filed a lawsuit against Combs, accusing him of running a trafficking operation. Sources say 3 women and a man have been interviewed. I already went through that. Yeah, man, Diddy's he's selling off stuff because like he probably wants to because he knows he's gonna have to hire a good defense team. So I could see him trying to get money from different things in order to make sure he has good lawyers and to make sure that he is able to fight this case. He's going to need every ounce of that. But one of the reasons why, again, I did this article here was because this title right here, man, that's a backhanded compliment if I had ever seen one, man. But yeah, he's getting rid of certain, things. He's trying to get his money back from it. Now, let me explain the photo that y'all see here. The photo that y'all see here came from this article. I'm going to go to it. Where they say that Diddy is out here arguing with somebody on the phone. Okay. Now here they're saying that Sean Diddy Combs appears stressed during phone call outside his Miami mansion after the feds raid. Of course he would be, He allegedly got caught off guard. Sean Diddy Combs, as you can see here, Sean Diddy Combs was spotted having what appeared to be a tense phone conversation outside his Miami mansion just 1 week after after his properties were raided in connection with a trafficking probe. The music mogul looked stressed as he fielded a phone call on Monday afternoon in the backyard of his Star Island home. The Bad Boys executive, who was joined by a friend dressed down in white t-shirt with a giraffe hearts design and jeans. And that's him there. He talking to them lawyers like they took the laptops. They took the laptops. They took the laptops. They took all the computers. They even took some of the studio equipment. Says Combs kept a straight face while going back and forth with the person on the other end before heading back inside. Despite the looming legal trouble, sources told people that Combs has tried to not let any drama affect him and his kids who are staying with him in Miami. It's a stressful situation for him, but he's keeping his cool. The singer was photographed taking a load off the weekend. No Diddy. While lounging shirtless near the water. Combs was captured heading out of his dock for a smoke break, only wearing shorts. And that's them there. Yeah, you know, he's in a bad place. And listen, we're going to get to what Stevie J says. Stevie J was interviewed, right? Speaking of the Miami mansion, Stevie J was interviewed by TMZ, and Stevie J said that he was there at the Miami mansion when they broke into the house. And that he was, you know, told to get down on the ground, and, you know, he said he wanted to speak to the higher ups. He spoke to the higher ups, and he was let go. And, you know, he left, you know, and he, you know, we're going to get into that video too. I think that video was very interesting. Why you at this man's house and he ain't there? He said he was working in the studio, quote unquote, the studio. He was at the Miami Mansion studio, you know. So he's been spending a whole lot of time with Diddy. Stevie J been spending a whole lot of time with Diddy. So it's like to me. Okay. All right. Salute to everybody that's here. Make sure that y'all like the stream. I want to get to the shooting victim, because the shooting victim, she wants her get back. And she said that it wasn't Shine that shot her, that it was Diddy that shot her. And, you know, all I got to say is, man, Diddy, I hope you didn't. She says she's willing to let them take the bullet fragments out of her eye in order to get at Diddy. That's crazy. That is crazy. But again, this is a crazy time we're in. Shout out to Link.
Karma for that cheesecake whop on making the band. And the studio is shut down indefinitely. This is wild bad boys for life, lol.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I told you, Diddy has done a lot of people dirty. And people are like, well, y'all should still stand by him. What? No. That man has done a lot of people dirty. Let's get into this real quick. Diddy's record label fires back at lawsuits as 1999 shooting victim speaks out. The record label named in Rodney Little Rod Jones' lawsuit accusing Diddy of abuse has fired back at the allegations against the label and its executives. The attorneys for UMG Recordings and its Motown Records division sent a letter to federal judge seeking their dismissal from the lawsuit. This comes as a victim of the infamous 1999 Club New York shooting spoke out to reveal the extreme lengths she will go to prove that Diddy was her attacker. is it Natanya Rubin, was shot in the face that night. She told News Nation that she'd allowed doctors to remove the pieces of a bullet still embedded in her head to get to the bottom of the truth. Diddy was acquitted of all charges after a 2021 trial. Diddy's past is back in the spotlight after his homes in Miami and Los Angeles, get rid of that, were raided by federal agents on the 25th of March in connection to a federal trafficking investigation. Diddy has described the actions of the agents as a gross overuse of military-level force and insisted that he was innocent of any wrongdoing. And I said this, I didn't agree with the way that those agents acted. Like, Diddy is not some drug lord. He wasn't even there. There was no security there. I'm pretty sure they did did around the clock surveillance. There was no security there. There was no security threat there. They know that. They knew that. I think that's about it from that. But we're going to get into the snitch allegations. And maybe why some of y'all are here. We're going to get into these snitch allegations. But first, let's get into this real quick. We getting into everything. We getting into all the updates. 18 companies cut ties with Sean Combs' business venture in the wake of the assault allegations. 18, family. 18 companies that he was working with. I told y'all, he was getting income. Income was coming in, but he was spending it. He was spending the money that was coming in. Expensive lifestyle. 18 companies that he was doing business with. 18 companies have cut ties with him. Do we call this cancel? Now, this was back in December. If 18 companies cut ties with him in December, what do y'all think has happened in the months to follow? Now, let's get to this video. We're going to get to the Art of Dialogue. The Art of Dialogue, he did an interview with Gene Deal. See if we can get this on the screen. He did an interview. Shout out to Art of Dialogue. And y'all know Gene Deal, he don't care. He gonna go in. Oh, let me see if I get this on screen. Give me a second, y'all. They saying this man is a snitch, an informant. Shout out to Gene Deal too. There are people that claim they don't like Gene Deal. Gene Deal, he was one of the first to do these interviews. There's other people who followed behind him to do these types of interviews. He was one of the first. He's been consistent. Now, maybe people they don't think he's been as consistent, but we're going to get into this clip from the Art of Dialogue, and we're going to get into what Gene Deal had to say. Make sure y'all like the stream. We're going to get into this. Is he a snitch? Is he ain't?
Crazy, man. So I want to backtrack, right? I want to backtrack to a comment you made earlier about Diddy and how, over the years he's been having all these run-ins with the police. Do you think the feds took notice of that? And they, at this point, they like, yo, we're going to crack down on Diddy?
What happens is that the police will bring in a CI and will use him like she was a $3 hoe. That's a confidential informant. They'll let you do crimes, long as you don't do no murders and stuff like that. They'll let you go around and pay you. When I was in law enforcement, dog, they paid confidential informants $250 for revolvers, $500 for automatic weapons, $750 to $1,500 for semi-automatic guns and rifles and machine guns and shit like that. Some confidential informants got payment like that. And plus, they get 8% of a case.
Listen, that's being an informant can be very lucrative. And let me tell you something too, man. Some of y'all may not want to hear this. Some of the toughest dudes in your neighborhoods are probably confidential informants. The dudes that act crazy, they ain't afraid to get arrested. You know why they're not afraid to get arrested? Because they tell, they're getting their ops locked up. They're telling on various people. That's why they can go out there and sell dope and mistreat women and do crazy things, because they have no fear of going to jail because they are a criminal informant. They are a snitch. And it be some of the toughest dudes in your neighborhood. But they snitches, they criminal informants. They out there telling. Yeah, they're making 8% off cases. They making money off of locking up people that look like them. They don't care. And it be always the dude that talks the most bright, because he knows he's a snitch. He knows he ain't going to jail. If he do, he ain't gonna be there very long. Because have y'all seen people? Now again, I'm not trying to shine a light and say this cause of this, but have y'all noticed that there are people who do? You're like, why is he not in jail? This dude is running rampant. It's because he's telling his way out of jail, and because he got people shook, nobody says anything, but people think it. Like, this man is out here toting weapons and selling dope, fighting people, doing all types of crimes, and he's still out here just free as a bird. Or he'll go to jail for like maybe a month or a couple weeks. They'll take him off the street for a little while and put him right back on the street. And they're making money off of it too. So they're not just telling because they want to do it. It's because it's lucrative. I've heard police officers say they were paying their informants. Being an informant is very lucrative. Very lucrative.
8% of a case. So if they bring in about, just say, they bring in a case $100,000. That's 8,000. What's that? What's that? $8,000. That's 8,000. They bring in $1 million.
Just imagine those RICO cases when they arrest all the whole gang. They get all those weapons and drugs. The CI who helped them is probably getting a piece of that too. Where does the money go when they arrest these guys? Have y'all thought about that?
$1 million case. $1 million case. That person is getting $80,000. I mean, like $80,000 on it. I think if you're talking about 8%, you know what I mean? So I'm saying that to say this: confidential informants get paid good, but Puff was a millionaire. Him being a confidential informant, him getting money like that, it was favors. He been getting favors and been paying law enforcement people for years to protect him. You understand? To protect him. We had a lot of people on the payroll when we was doing security. Everybody somebody might have this first 10 hours, that 10 hours, or whatever. He was paying law enforcement. He had a budget for law enforcement. Now, if something goes wrong, those people got friends in certain places. Then plus he tells his handler, yo, can you make this go away for me? I'll give you this and that. Now, that could be a lot of speculations or whatever like that. But why would you have or be working for an FBI agent if you're not an informant?
That's true. And also, it's a way to get rid of your ops too. If Diddy has money like that, if he's not doing it for the money, it's to get rid of people who he think is a threat to him as well on the streets that he might be afraid of. Malik says, I know a dude that snitched on his own family and others, but everybody is scared of him. That's how it is, Malik. That's in a lot of these neighborhoods, man. In a lot of these neighborhoods, there are people who we know told on not only they told on their family members, they done told on their ops, and nobody's gonna confront them or say anything to them because they're afraid of them. I think that goes on a lot of these different places.
Why? So when you got that kind of money, you could hire people to make a lot of things go away for you. Like you hired lawyers. Those lawyers have police officers and people working for them and investigators. Those investigators were former officers. So all of them in the backyard in Diddy bed together.
So what you think happened? If he was an informant, like what made him turn on him?
Like I said, some people could retire. His name is too much in the news. Like, listen here, bro. They don't want you to be always in the news in a negative form. There's people that's probably worse than Diddy, but they not always in the news in a negative form. And then, like I said before, when he went against one of the world's biggest distributors of alcohol and spirits, they put out a campaign against him. They called their friends, they made him look real bad in the media. And a lot of that shit didn't go away, bro. It just compiled. And now with Cassie with her stuff, that Jonathan Odie, Lil Rob, and the 4 other people that filed cases. I think he got like 3 to 4 other cases that's filed against him that they trying to work out instead of going into court.
Darkman said, because in the 90s, Puffy was scared of certain people, and when they all died or got locked up by 98, he started getting real bold and gangster. Yes, he did. It was safe for him to go on the West Coast. Once Suge got arrested, he felt safe to go on the West Coast again. Yeah, Gene has been, for years, Gene has been saying these things. Now, he went into more detail about this and about Diddy being a confidential informant. I could totally believe that. Diddy will do anything to get over on people. He can be a petty guy. He's always been that way. It would not shock me at all that he was a criminal informant just so he can get after his ops or other people he didn't like. That wouldn't surprise me at all. What's good, the Sarah? Gmail, what's up? Soyidas. Make sure y'all like the stream. Because he's the type of guy, he just has that energy of, he wants to get over on people. I've heard some of the stories of what this guy has done. And again, he's done a lot in hip hop, but I think he's also done a lot of damage too. I think he's done a lot of damage. Where's Farnsworth Bentley? All right, let's play this back. Just rewind this.
What happens is that the police will bring in a CI and will use him like she was a $3 hoe. That's a confidential informant. They'll let you do crimes, long as you don't do no murders and stuff like that. They'll let you go around and pay you. When I was in law enforcement, dog, they paid confidential informants $250 for revolvers, $500 for automatic weapons, $750 to $1,500 for semi-automatic guns and rifles and machine guns and shit like that. Some confidential informants got payment like that. And plus, they get 8% of a case. 8% of a case. So if they bring in about, just say, they bring in a case $100,000. That's 8,000. What's that? What's that? $8,000. That's 8,000. They bring in $1 million case. $1 million case. That person is getting $80,000. I mean, like $80,000 on it. I think if you're talking about,
Yeah, very lucrative. I did not know this. I did not know that, criminal informants could get that much for, helping in these cases. I know they would get some money. I didn't know that they were basically making a living off of it. I did not know they were making a living off of it, but there are people making a living off being, informants, man. You got to be careful the type of people. If you're doing crimes, if you're out here doing wrong, you better be careful. You don't want to be you don't want to be in too deep. You don't want to be LL Cool J's character and in too deep. You don't want to be that guy. Again, make sure y'all like the stream. We got 700 in the building. Make sure y'all like the stream.
8%. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that to say this. Confidential informants get paid good. But Puff was a millionaire. Him being a confidential informant, him getting money like that, it was favors. He been getting favors and been paying law enforcement people for years to protect him. You understand? To protect him. We had a lot of people on the payroll when we was doing security. Everybody had, somebody might have this first 10 hours, that 10 hours, or whatever. He was paying law enforcement. He had a budget for law enforcement. Now, if something goes wrong, those people got friends in certain places. Then plus he tells his handler, yo, can you make this go away for me? I'll give you this and that. Now, that could be a lot of speculations or whatever like that. But why would you have or be working for an FBI agent if you're not an informant? Why? So when you got that kind of money, you could hire people to make a lot of things go away for you. Like you hire lawyers. Those lawyers have police officers and people working for them and investigators. Those investigators were former officers. So all of them in the backyard in Diddy bed together.
So what you think happened if he was an informant? Like, what made him turn him?
Jeez.
Like I said, some people could retire.
He said they were all in
His
bed
name
together.
is
Jeez.
too much in the news. Like, listen here, bro. They don't want you to be always in the news in a negative form. There's people that's probably worse than Diddy, but they not always in the news in a negative form. And then, like I said before, when he went against one of the world's biggest distributors of alcohol and spirits, they put out a campaign against him. They called their friends. They made him look real bad in the media.
Yeah, they did.
And a lot of that shit didn't go away, bro. It just compiled. And now with Cassie with her stuff, that Jonathan Odie, Lil Rob, and the 4 other people that filed cases. I think he got like 3 to 4 other cases that's filed against him that they trying to work out instead of going into court.
That's what Gene Deal had to say. We're going to get to what Stevie J had to say too. But I'm looking at this Christian Combs, man. Jesus. Christian Combs. Bro, you know, if any of Diddy's children is like him, it's definitely Christian. Christian is very much like his father. I think he wants to be just like his father. But we're gonna get to what Stevie J had to say. I want y'all to hear what, because Stevie J was at the Miami mansion. Why? I don't know. I don't know why he was at the Miami mansion, but he was. So we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into what Stevie J had to say. Stevie J was there when they broke the gate down and went in there, and so yeah, let's hear what Stevie J had to say. Again, make sure y'all like the stream. I'm JayeDeBlack. Y'all know how I do these particular live streams. Okay, greatness.
Were you on Star Island or were you actually at Diddy's house? I know you were in Miami.
I was at his crib working in the studio. I was sitting outside
In the
studio
studio?
door, and I heard a big boom. Now, mind you, before we get into this, I'm not a spring chicken, even though I look fly and stuff. But I've witnessed some historical.
I think he's at the Miami mansion now. Like those look like the outside of Diddy's house. Y'all see the picture in the thumbnail? Don't that look similar to what Diddy's house looks like? This dude's probably still at Diddy's house. I think Stevie J is still at Diddy's house. Jay, do you remember hearing that Diddy may have had something to do with well-known black guy getting... Oh, if he is an older gentleman, I think he was called the Black Hollywood Godfather. I have heard stories about that, Charm. I don't know if it's true. But, you know, nothing surprises me when it comes to Hollyweird. Hollyweird, nothing surprises me at all. But listen, Charm, more may come out soon, you know. But yeah, Stevie J looks like he's at Diddy's house now.
Events of excessive force, but none like this since Saddam Hussein or El Chapo or Pablo Escobar, even Osama bin Laden. I heard a big boom. So I'm thinking, like, you know, a lot of people do work on the island all day long, so I'm figuring someone drops the materials. Heard it again. Turn my head, I'm hearing do, 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 do. Armored vehicles, 3 big armored vehicles come. Dudes jump out, I got 50 dots on my shirt. Screaming, yo, get on the ground. I'm like, yo, really? I'm the only one here. Took me outside, I asked to speak to the higher ups. I was under arrest. And they said, no, you're being detained. I want to speak to the higher ups. Spoke to the higher ups. I said, am I under arrest? They said, no, you're not. Let me let you go. Boom. Let me go check your bags. You don't have any weapons and all. I'm like, I don't have any weapons.
Stevie, what did they take from the house? Were you able to see?
I saw them take like a bag of one bag.
Well, did they take electronics? Because they did in Los Angeles.
I'm sure they took some electronics, some of the camera stuff and all that. Probably they didn't want him to get a look at what they were doing in his crib, like how they came in with the arm.
Of course, they were there for the cameras. Even though they tore up one of the houses, they were mainly there for that. And then Stevie J was at the wrong place at the wrong time, it looks like. Wrong place, wrong time. Yeah, but, you know, this guy stays in the studio, the dedication of Stevie J in the studio. You know? A lot of coincidence. I wondered, did he threaten to fight 50 Cent from Diddy's house? Because it just so happens he's in Miami. He say he want to fight him. Next thing you know, he's at the house. You know, but what's up?
Trucks, of course, they took all that stuff.
What did you see when you walked back in?
I just don't want to get too much into that. I just know that I walked in and they messed the man crib up. You know what I'm saying? And they did his crib dirty. And you know, I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. Can
you tell us what his reaction was when you spoke to him the next day?
You know, he was just devastated, just merely because he was going out of the country with his daughters for spring break. You know, and all, and they had to witness things like that at the airport. I believe that would kind of shift the thinking of any man in general. If you're going on vacation with your kids and the feds show up and ruin your trip, and it's their senior year, you know what I mean? So I know he was more hurt by that.
Listen, I understand that you with your two youngest daughters or your two twin daughters, and this happens. You know, they shouldn't have to deal with that. They shouldn't have to deal with that. They have nothing to do with what Diddy got caught up in. None of his children. Now, one is being accused of something. We're going to get into P. Diddy Jr., but Stevie J, you know, he's detailing it from the inside. He's detailing what happened at the Miami, because they took that gate completely down. I'm like, was all this, you could have just maybe, you know, say, hey, is anybody, you know, buzzed in? I don't know how they do it as far as getting in and out. But they wanted to put on the show. This is what the feds have become. They have become about going after famous people. That's what they are. That's what they don't fight. They don't fight crimes as far as what's going on at the border. They don't care about that. They go after celebrities. Now again, Diddy brought this on himself, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of, you know, crazy things that are going on, and this government doesn't seem to care. They really don't. They allowed people to riot in 2020 and did nothing about it. So yes, I believe they are fake outraged about Diddy, but he's famous. So, you know, they say, hey, you know, we can go after a famous person and flex our muscle. This is what the FBI has become. All right. Or a lot of Homeland Security. Homeland Security should be looking at what's going on at the border. But instead of them looking at what's going on at the border, they want to go after Diddy. That should be something that's for the other intelligence service to do. Why are you getting involved, Homeland Security? We have a crisis at the border. Why don't y'all deal with that? Your Homeland Security, first off, should have nothing to do with this unless there are certain people in government who went to a Diddy party or two, and they're like, listen, we got to go get those tapes because I'm on it, right? Because y'all know Joe Biden has allowed all types of degenerates in his cabinet. They're probably some of the main people who push for Homeland Security to be a part of this, because they're probably on those Diddy tapes too. So let's run this back.
Were you on Star Island, or were you actually at Diddy's house?
Shout
I
out
know
to
you were
Jay.
in Miami.
Shout out to Jay Thomas, says the industry has way too much moisture. I agree with that. Look how these boys now. Look how these boys dressing, man. Look how they dressing. Look at. By the way, this is a side note. What the hell is going on with Caleb Williams? You know, he's going to be the first overall pick in the NFL. He's out here with fingernail polish, and he's out here with pink phone cases. I mean, he's wearing dresses in like this advertisement. Like, man, that's about to be Chicago's starting quarterback. You know, he gets very emotional when he loses. I mean, anyway.
I was at his crib working in the studio. I was sitting outside the studio door, and I heard a big boom. Now, mind you, before we get into this, I'm not a spring chicken, even though I look fly and stuff. But I've witnessed some historical events of excessive force, but none like this since Saddam Hussein or El Chapo or Pablo Escobar, even Osama bin Laden. I heard a big boom. So I'm thinking, like, you know, a lot of people do work on the island all day long, so I'm figuring someone dropped some materials. Heard it again. Turn my head, I'm hearing do, 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 do. Armored vehicles, 3 big armored vehicles come. Dudes jump out, I got 50 dots on my shirt. Screaming, yo, get on the ground. I'm like, yo, really? I'm the only one here. Took me outside, I asked to speak to the higher ups. I was under arrest. And they said, no, you're being detained. I want to speak to the higher ups. Spoke to the higher ups. I said, am I under arrest? They said, no, you're not. Let me let you go. Boom. Let me go check your bags. You don't have any weapons and all. I'm like, I don't have any weapons.
Stevie, what did they take from the house? Were you able to see?
I saw them take like a bag of one bag.
Well, did they take electronics? Because they did in Los Angeles.
I'm sure they took some electronics, some of the camera stuff and all that. Probably they didn't want him to get a look at what they were doing in his crib, like how they came in with the armored trucks. Of course, they took off.
Helena says, hey, trying to say he is trafficking through his clothing and other endeavors that he was overseeing. It's crazy. Appreciate y'all being here.
All that stuff.
What did you see when you walked back in?
I just don't want to get too much into that. I just know that I walked in and they messed the man crib up. You know what I'm saying? And they did his crib dirty. And I haven't seen anything like this in a long time.
Can you tell us what his reaction was when you spoke to him the next day?
He was just devastated, just merely because he was.
Yeah, that's what the listen. The FBI has become about show trials. They will show. Yeah, listen. If you have the wrong opinions, they will show up at your house. This is what this government has become. They're about controlling people. If you use the wrong pronouns, they're talking about getting you legally prosecuted. It's crazy out here. Homeland Security should be focusing on the security of America, not trying to arrest Stevie J. Now, again, if what Diddy was doing allegedly crosses, it crosses North America and it goes into other countries, I can see why they're getting involved there. They say, okay, you got stuff going on in different countries, I can see that. But I've never seen Homeland Security go after a lot of these people who've done similar, if not worse. Like, I've never seen Homeland Security go after the cartels. They usually leave that up to the FBI. They leave that up to the FBI. They usually will not. Homeland Security doesn't get involved in cartel business that I know of. Now, y'all may have the HIS gotten involved with cartels. That's usually something that the FBI will take care of, or U.S. Marshals, right?
Going out of the country with his daughters for spring break, and they had to witness things like that at the airport. I believe that would kind of shift the thinking of any man in general. If you're going on vacation with your kids and the feds show up and ruin your trip, and it's their senior year, you know what I mean? So I know he was more hurt by that.
So that was Stevie J giving his firsthand account of what went on in Miami. And I wanted y'all to see that, from his perspective. I do think they put on a show. I believe they didn't. I don't think they thought he was there. You got a man who's under surveillance. He's under surveillance. They didn't know he was already somewhere else. Come on, man. They knew he was somewhere else. This is a show they were putting on. This is what they do. This is what the government does. I don't have no faith in the intelligence services of this country for the things that they have been doing here and the things they've been doing elsewhere. And this, to me, just shows it. Because the fact that Homeland Security is so bored that they're getting involved, now again, there'd have to be a reason. Is he like actually trafficking women in and out of the country? They'd have to definitely prove that. But we'll see. Shout out to everybody that's here. Make sure y'all like the stream. Salute to everyone that's here. Trying to make sure I get through a lot of these topics tonight. I want to get to Christian Combs because he's being accused. Diddy, listen, Christian Combs to me is Diddy. I call him Diddy Jr. because he wants to be just like his dad. Out of all his children, I think he wants to be like him the most. Because he looks just like him, right? I mean, when you look at Christian Combs, you see Diddy. And I think Diddy sees himself. Christian Combs accused of assaulting and drugging women in looming lawsuit. Again, this is Christian Combs, aka Diddy Jr. Diddy Jr. Again, you know, you see him, you see Diddy, and he wants to be just like his dad. The way that stuff that he posts online, and I think he wants to be just like his dad. You know what I'm saying? Christian Combs, this according to Vibe, Christian Combs reportedly being named in a looming lawsuit accusing the rap star of assaulting and drugging a woman. The lawsuit against Combs, the son of embattled rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs, has yet to be officially filed, but is currently in the works according to attorney Tyrone Blackburn. The identity of Combs' alleged victim has yet to be revealed, and details surrounding the reported lawsuit are sparse. While Combs has yet to address the allegations directly, he recently shared a post on social media that read, "Stop the cap." Although he didn't give context to what or whom he was referring to. He's referring to that lawsuit. What else would Diddler Jr., what else would Diddler Jr. be talking about? You see, again, out of all Diddy's children, because you know, when you have people who have a bunch of kids, there's always going to be that one child that wants to be just like their father. He wants to be Diddy. He's watched him, he's studied him, and allegedly he's drugging like him. That's not good. The rapper, who performs under the stage name King Combs, has been romantically linked to multiple women during his time in the spotlight. Combs dated his ex-girlfriend Bria Hicks for several years and is currently dating model Raven Tracy, who recently got Chris's name tattooed on her body. Let me tell you, young heifer, something. You're going to regret this in a couple of years. No, well, her specifically, I think she will. But women who get these tattoos of these dudes, they end up regretting it. And she'll end up getting it covered up. But she's doing that to placate to him because she thinks that he's going to inherit the Combs empire. Because he's probably told her that. And he's a quote-unquote rapper, you know. The claims are made against Combs have been described as serious and it thrusts him in the vortex of shocking claims surrounding his father, as Diddy has been hit with several lawsuits in recent months accusing him of assault, trafficking, abuse, and more. Blackburn, who previously represented clients in litigation against celebrities such as T.I. and Tiny, as well as Nicki Minaj and Kenneth, is also the attorney for Rodney Lil Rod Jones, the producer who filed a lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs earlier this year. Last month, Homeland Security conducted raids of Diddy's properties in California, Miami, during which Christian and his elder brother Justin were detained and later released following the investigation. We're going to get to his mother because his mother is speaking out. Misa is speaking out. We gonna get to her, but let's get to Diddler Jr. Listen, King Combs wants Chris. I'm gonna call him King Combs. That's his rap name. Or Chris. I'll just call him Chris. Chris wants to be just like his dad, and he studied him. He's around him, and he's picked up habits. You know, he wants to be Diddy Jr., Diddy 2.0. See, Justin is, whatever. But him, he's inherited his father physically. Like, he looks more like his father than Justin. That's because, Justin's dad is, But, Diddy still calls him his son, so, But, King Combs is his direct son. Like that's the person that he's maybe grooming. He's grooming to be his successor. So if there's truth to these lawsuits that he's out here, possibly pulling a Diddy, then that's going to be troubling. That's going to ruin his rap career. Rap career pretty much over if that's the case, and he may even end up doing jail time, or end up getting sued if charges are brought against him. Because I've heard where people said that he could have been bringing girls that are not of age to parties. Him and someone else. But let's get into what Misa had to say. Misa shares Diddy home raid footage and calls out federal agents' excessive use of force on sons. Let's see. Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend Misa is speaking out after their son Justin and his brother Christian were handcuffed amid highly publicized raid on Combs' Los Angeles home late last month. Misa, who posted security footage of the March 25th raid to Instagram on Tuesday, and called out the Homeland Security agents who executed the raid for their overzealous and overly militarized force against Justin Combs and his brother Christian King Combs. Hold on a second, y'all. I want to confirm something. Yeah, Diddy is his father. I'm mixing him up with Quincy, but that's his father. So that's his son. But again, they saying Justin is Wolf's son. I've heard that too. That's why I said, I didn't know 100% if that was Diddy's son, because they're saying that was Wolf's son. He does he look like Diddy or does he look like Wolf? But anyway, man. The force used against my sons Justin and Christian is deplorable. If these were the sons of a non-black celebrity, they would not have been handled with the same aggression, she wrote. The attempt to humiliate and terrorize these innocent young black men is despicable. She continued writing that enough is enough, and that the boys' attorney, Jeffrey Lichtman, was investigating the excessive use of force used on Justin and Christian, which she called unnecessary and certainly not required by this search warrant. I've even pointed that out. I say all this theatrics wasn't needed. Did Justin need several laser beams with firearms pointed at his chest? Did Christian need a weapon pointed at the back of his head while he was in handcuffs? She wrote, how many times have we seen young unarmed black men not make it out of these types of situations alive? The security footage showed by Misa showed the heavily armed federal agents entering Combs' home and pushing Christian, who had his hands above his head, against the wall while handcuffing him. Justin is also seen in the video walking with his hands above his head while a weapon was aimed at him. Both Christian and Justin were handcuffed outside the estate as they spoke with authorities, although both were released without arrest. We will fight for justice utilizing every imaginable source, Misa wrote in her caption. I'm not with the propaganda. Lichtman did not immediately respond to people's request for comment. I said it myself. I said that they went overboard. But this is the government. They are about they want to be a part of the TV show. The FBI is full of attention seekers, and they pursue cases that get them attention. This is what America has been reduced to. This is why nobody on the global stage takes us seriously. They don't. Because this was not needed. You could have brought a bunch of jackets there. They could have went in there. They could have, served a search warrant. But to have military styled agents in like armor. Like, seriously? I understand that they may think Diddy is a POS, right? But that doesn't give you the right to run up in that house. You knew Diddy wasn't there and do that. Like, what were you trying to say? They want to be a part of the show. They're a bunch of attention seekers. That's why nobody takes us seriously. Why don't y'all take those militarized agents down to the border and deal with people who are pushing their way into this country, and y'all just letting it happen? Y'all so concerned with show trials and going after Trump and whomever who's a celebrity. I didn't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I really don't. The raid on the Combs homes in Los Angeles and Miami were part of an ongoing Homeland Security investigation, reportedly looking into allegations similar to those made in the two pending lawsuits accusing the music mogul of trafficking. One of those suits filed in February by record producer Lil Rod names Justin as a defendant and claims he solicited prostitutes, underage girls, and workers. His attorney responded to the suit upon its filing, saying that in the statement that absurd allegations are all lies, according to Rolling Stone. This is a clear example of a desperate person taking desperate measures in the hopes of a payday. Y'all do know this all would have been avoided if he would have paid Lil Rod his money. But because Diddy is a POS, Diddy refused to pay a man who lived with him for a year working on music. Diddy felt like he didn't have to pay him. This all could have been avoided, Diddy, if you would have paid this man for working on your album, but because you don't like to pay your artists or your producers unless you feel like it, now you're in this situation. I think Diddy really hated paying Cassie, but he had no choice because she could have really wrecked his life more than has already been wrecked. And he knew it. That's why he settled within 24 hours. That was a battle that he knew he couldn't win. And you know what's the funniest thing about that is that she was probably bluffing. And he bit. Because a woman that was in a relationship with you, accusing you of these various things, and she probably has some proof and probably knows your dirty, deep, dark secrets and wasn't afraid anymore. He felt like it was better for him to settle. So salute to everybody that's here, and make sure that y'all like the stream. Let's see what else is going on. Let's talk about the end of Lizzo. Lizzo's career is cooked. She's done. The political, she was a political pawn, Lizzo. Lizzo is cooked. That's in the title of this live stream. Lizzo is done, man. I spoke about her being sued by women that she employed, and she was a bully. Even though she claims to be about big girl empowerment, she was nothing more than a big old bully. She was a woman that used her position to make those women bend to her will. And y'all got to understand, Lizzo hasn't even been famous really that long. What, maybe less than 5 years? But see, when you put powerless people in a position of power, you put people in a position to be in control of others, they abuse it. Diddy has been doing this for over 30 years. Lizzo has been doing this in less than 5. And she ain't the only one, by the way. Now she's trying to shame people because she got exposed. You give these people a little bit of power, money, it goes to their head. And they forget who they are, and they forget that it can all be taken away from them. You're supposed to be for women, you're supposed to be for female empowerment, but you were really for power. You are a political pawn of liberals. She would promote every liberal cause out there. Lizzo, you made a fool of yourself publicly just so white liberals can laugh. That's what you were. You were the big fat black girl that would twerk and would try to press men that weren't attracted to you to be attracted to you. If you weren't attracted to Lizzo, something's wrong with you. You're against fat girls. You're a fat shamer. Y'all remember that? Shaming men who wanted nothing to do with her physically because they didn't like, I mean, it's crazy how she was allowed to press men about not wanting to sleep with her or date her. There was a rumor, right? There was a rumor that that Lizzo was dating a bunch of men off Instagram, a bunch of models, right? And she was running through them. I can believe that because when you have a low self-esteem female that has fame and some money, it goes to their head very quickly, and they don't know how to handle it. And now she's talking about quitting music because she's getting sued by all these different women who worked with her. Lizzo is not feeling good as hell. The Grammy winner, who is currently the subject of harassment lawsuit, seemingly quit the music industry via an Instagram post she shared Friday night. Boo-hoo. She says, I'm getting tired of putting up with being dragged by everyone in my life on the internet. She began her emotional statement. All I want is to make music and make people happy and help the world to be a little better than how I found it. But I started to feel like the world doesn't want me in it. Well, Lizzo, you did it to yourself. Look at this. This is not very narcissistic. It's everybody else's fault. It's everybody else's fault. Lizzo, it ain't your fault. This is the message here. Let's see. I'm constantly up against lies being told about me for clout and views, being the butt of the joke every single time because of how I look. My character being picked apart by people who don't know me and disrespecting my name. I didn't sign up for this shit. I quit. Well, good, Lizzo, because you were nothing more than a political pawn. She was a straight up minstrel for white liberals in the gay community. That's what you were. You were a minstrel. You were there to make black women look bad. That was your position. That's why you were elevated. Maybe they don't need you anymore. You're like the music equivalent of Leslie Jones. Okay. They tried to push Leslie Jones and we said, oh no. No. Y'all not about to do that. Y'all not about to push that narrative. And they tried to do it with Lizzo. We pushed back on it. Nah. I read through that. Let's see. Her statement came shortly after attorneys for her backup dancers, Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noel Rodriguez, slammed her for performing at a re-election fundraiser for President Biden Thursday evening. Oh my God, listen. Yo, this gotta be a script. Oh my God, she is performing. Y'all see this? Y'all see this bullshit? She is performing at a re-election fundraiser for President Biden. Yes, Lizzo, I think you should quit. I think you need to quit. You're at a fundraiser for Joe Biden. I told y'all she is nothing more than a politically ignorant heifer who's nothing more than a big old minstrel and bully, and they try to prop her up as if, you know, she's like elevating women. She's nothing more than a political tool of the Democratic Party at a Democratic fundraiser. I'm telling y'all, what is going on here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? It's shameful that Lizzo would be chosen to headline an event like this amid such egregious allegations. Ron Zambrano told News Nation, without getting into the politics, I can't imagine why anyone would want Lizzo representing them in any way, given her reprehensible behavior is just a terrible look. Davis, Rodriguez, and Williams sued the Truth Hurts singer in August of 2023 for creating a toxic work environment and harassment. Bro, they chose her because that's her job. I believe Lizzo is a plant. Just like I believe Sexy Red is a plant, even though Sexy Red, you know, she's not, I don't know, maybe Sexy Red is smarter than I thought at first, because, you know, she says she's a Trump supporter. And she's become big. She's become big out here. But she's not a Democratic. She's not Lizzo. She's the opposite of Lizzo in that sense of she's not a Democratic tool. She's not a Democratic plant like her, like some of these other people that they've put out here. Let's see. One instance of her, I'm not getting into it, but man, y'all can go ahead and read up on it. Like, this Lizzo was just a big old bully. And I think Lizzo thought that people wouldn't find out who she truly is. But Lizzo's recent post about quitting music because the constant negativity surrounding her name has prompted a vicious response from a lawyer who is representing one of the superstar's former backup dancers in a harassment suit. In a statement to Billboard, Los Angeles-based attorney Ron Zambrano wrote, "It's a joke that Lizzo would say that she is being bullied by the internet when she should instead be taking an honest look at herself." He continued, "Her latest post is just another outburst seeking attention and trying to deflect from her own failings as she continues to blame everyone else for the predicament she is in. Lizzo's legal and public relations strategy is a failure, so she is desperately trying to play victim. She has thrown these childish tantrums before. No one actually believes she is quitting music, but she should quit sexually harassing, shaming, bullying her employees, and finally accept responsibility for her actions." In making his point, he also referenced in recent allegations against Diddy, as well as former Nickelodeon executive Dan Schneider. She can make all of this go away simply by seizing the opportunity here to set an example, to own up to her mistakes, pay what's due to those she's wronged, and work on becoming a better person, he said. Celebrity toxicity is poisoning the entertainment industry, with Diddy and Dan Schneider being the latest examples, and Lizzo's conduct will not be tolerated either. There is no more safe place in society for this sort of behavior, as the entire industry is in for a reckoning for permitting such a vile treatment of employees in the workplace. Sounds like a Me Too statement. In late March, the 35-year-old shared a candid message on Instagram opening up about the personal struggle she's been facing. These challenges, according to the note, have led her to make the difficult decision to take a step back from the music industry. You know, when I see that, when I see, Lizzo here trying to play victim, and the fact that she was sexually harassing and doing all these weird things with her employees, this was the first thing that came to mind.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Can I need another one? You here? Get you another
Thank
one
you,
too,
sir.
Listen, you got to tell Lizzo no. Lizzo be wanting to party. Lizzo be wanting to party, and you got to tell Lizzo no. You got to tell Lizzo no. Them girls told Lizzo no, and that's why Lizzo acted the way she did. You know what I'm saying? Lizzo be wanting to party. Looking at that lawsuit, Lizzo be wanting to party. You got to tell her no. You know? Got to tell her no. Got to tell her no. Shout out to everybody that's here. Yo, shout out to everybody that's here. I had to play that, man. Listen, whenever I think of, she be wanting to party. Let's see. Let's see what I want to get into before. Okay, let's get into what happened last night. Did any of y'all watch? I'm looking at this picture. This is hilarious. Did y'all watch the women's basketball championship game? I watched. I didn't watch most of the first half. I did watch the second half. Boy, Angel Reese was up there in tears, wasn't she? You couldn't see him, but she was in tears. Angel Reese put on a performance in that press conference. Yo, Angel Reese has been talking big. Angel Reese says that she has been getting sexualized. And I'm saying to myself, and she's getting these threats, but were you getting these threats and were you being sexualized when you won the previous game to get to that point of facing Iowa? Well, it's not. I didn't mean championship game. I mean they're playing to get to a spot in the Final Four championship game. That's what I meant. I didn't mean the national championship game. I meant the Elite Eight game in the hopes to getting to the Final Four is what I probably should have said. So I've been going through all these different articles. Forgive me. But did y'all see this Oscar-winning performance from Angel? Listen again, I have nothing against Angel. I really don't. I have nothing against her. I'm not here to bully or make fun of her, but come on, man. We there's no tears there. She's literally crying, but there's no tears. And Angel Reese became known because she taunted on different occasions. She taunted Caitlin Clark when they played last year for the championship. That's what she was known for. Now, Caitlin Clark was known for being a taunter, but she cut that out this year. She cut that out, and she focused on being getting her team to the Final Four. That's what she was focused about, right? But Angel Reese, I thought everything was good when they got a chance to play in this game Monday night. She had some relatively good things to say about Caitlin Clark. But when I saw her body language, in that game, because they say she got hurt, she hurt her ankle, okay, but she still was moving around. She didn't look hindered to me. I just think Caitlin Clark took that game over to the point to where there was nothing Angel Reese could do. You could see it in her body language. When Caitlin Clark pulled up and dropped that three-pointer in her face, her body language changed. She was like, damn, I am cooked. Yes, you were. Yeah, yes. Her whole body language just shifted. She looked shook. And I'm seeing that she's making all these complaints now Listen, Angel. I have nothing against you. But you can't say that you've been miserable since you won the championship last year. We can't do that because you've gained millions of dollars, millions of followers since the national championship game, Angel. Now you've lost your boyfriend. I don't know if, maybe that's what she's saying, but I mean, you've been soaking up the attention to me. So I think that if Angel Reese would have won against Iowa, she would have been, I believe she would have taunted Iowa if they would have won. And I do believe that she would have been very braggadocious in the press conference. This somberness is due to her losing. This is what happens when you lose a big game. Let me tell you the difference between her and Juju Watkins. When Juju, and again, did Angel Reese take accountability for why she lost, why they lost? Yes. But all that extra stuff, come on. How come Juju Watkins didn't deal with death threats and being sexualized? It's how you carry yourself. If you carry yourself like an Instagram model that plays basketball, you're sexualizing yourself, Angel. And again, I have nothing against you. But saying these things in the presser, it doesn't make you look good. I'm sorry. Because you're an adult. You're making millions of dollars. You're in the spotlight. You got all these celebrities tweeting about you. This is where you are, unfortunately. And you may want to be regular again, but you're not regular. You've been accepting all these NIL deals. You talked about how even if you go to the WNBA, those deals are going to follow you. You got to understand you are a brand now. You're a brand now. So let's get to what she had to say. Angel Reese, the LSU basketball star who led her team to an NCAA women's championship a year ago, said that was the last time she lived without drama, as the fallout from winning the title led to death threats and hate speech hurled at her. Welcome to the real world. Listen, NBA players deal with this every day. But you know what they don't do, Angel? They don't taunt their opponents. You did. You taunted your opponent while you were winning. That's going to make people dislike you and make you, Following the 97-84 Elite Eight loss to Iowa on Monday, Reese tearfully shared her challenges. I've been through so much, she told reporters during the post-game news conference. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times, death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every time. Well, continue to stand strong because you're a multi-millionaire college athlete. These are what's going to happen, Angel. Reese turmoil began when, near the end of LSU's victory over Iowa in last year's title game, she approached Iowa star Caitlin Clark and waved a hand across her face, a move popularized by WWE star John Cena to mean you can't see me. Reese then pointed to her ring finger in a gesture that indicated that she would earn a championship ring, but you don't know why people are not rooting for you? Clark had made a similar gesture to another player earlier in the tournament. All this happened since I won the national championship, Reese said, and it sucks, but I still wouldn't change anything, and I would still sit here and say I'm unapologetically me. I'm going to always leave that mark and be who I am and stand. Well, good. Well, why are you crying in the press conference? LSU teammate Flau'jae Johnson said after the game that Reese's drama has been unwarranted. You mean the drama that she went through with your peoples, Flau'jae? Speaking of drama, what about the team drama y'all went through earlier in the season? But that's just me. Everybody can have their opinion on Angel Reese, but y'all don't know her, Johnson said. I know the real Angel Reese, and the person I see every day is a strong person, is a caring, loving person, but the crown she wears is heavy. But when she leaves college, she's not going to have that burden anymore because once she goes to the WNBA, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to care when she goes to the WNBA. That crown won't be as heavy because no one's going to care because the WNBA does a horrible job promoting their stars. They do a horrible job. Hailey Van Lith, a white teammate of Reese, said Sunday that racism was at the heart of the criticism her team has received after a Los Angeles Times column Friday described them as dirty debutantes. That was a very dumb article. That was a very, very dumb article. And whoever wrote that article was somebody that probably does have something against more so the coach than the team. I think they tried to attack the coach and ended up looking horrible. And they had to beg for forgiveness. A lot of people that are making those comments are being racist towards my teammates, she said. After the game Monday night, Van Lith said the attacks did not defeat Reese. No, they were going at you pretty badly, Hailey. Hailey was getting cooked all over X last night. So, I mean, they were going at her more than they were going at Angel Reese. I'm just saying. People speak hate into her life, Van Lith said. I never seen people wish bad things on someone as much as her, and it does not affect her. She comes to practice every day. She lives her life every day. She lives how she wants to live, and she don't let nobody change that. That's likely the key to life right there. Y'all do not get to her. Let me say it again. Y'all do not get to Angel Reese. So you might want to throw the towel in because you're wasting your energy. Why? Because people cheer and boo for their favorite players? Like, this to me looks like a big old pity party. And again, I have nothing against Angel Reese. This ain't an attack on Angel has to understand you are a multi-million-dollar brand. I don't agree with death threats. I think death threats are lame. I think anybody who, tries to send death threats should be, outed and exposed. That's the one thing about social media that's not good is that you have anonymous people who say things. But if you're getting threats, then you need to publicly put them out there. But instead of her talking about the threats, they want to talk about racism. Well, what about the threats that you're getting? Let's talk about that, but they want to talk about racism. You want to talk about racism. Angel, you're getting paid by white companies, okay? People are so, let's just see. How many black companies do she sponsors her, excuse me. How many black companies actually sponsor Angel Reese? I just want to know. She's being paid by white companies. But we all go back to the racism. No, if she would have beat Caitlin Clark, she would have been pointing her finger and taunting y'all, telling y'all, look what she did. And I'm like, this is a part of growing up. This is a part of being an athlete. Let me tell you something. These men basketball players probably get it worse. There have been people who've gotten in the faces of NBA players. We've seen it. Like, I'm pretty sure they would tell Angel, listen, we deal with a whole lot of stuff. You see, NIL has changed things. A lot of these college players now who are well known are getting paid a lot of money, and they're more recognized. You see them in commercials, right? They're like professional athletes now, and unfortunately, she's being treated like a professional athlete. Now, again, I don't agree with threats, but I just think that this is all about them losing. And the fact that they lost the way that they did. I mean, I seen Angel Reese's body language, man. When Caitlin Clark was dropping them threes in her face, her whole body language changed. And they had a picture where she looked like she was like, there's nothing I can do. Like, they broke her. Iowa broke her. I have a hard time seeing her come back to LSU. Maybe she does. But LSU had an up and down season. People forget that Angel Reese was like benched. Wasn't she benched for a number of games? So I just want to speak on that because I'm seeing this press conference and this pity party. I'm like, she's an adult. She's a multi-million-dollar brand. She wasn't talking about no threat. She wasn't talking about no racism before this game. Once you lose this game, now we talking about death threats and racism, and she says she ain't happy. This is why I tell y'all it's never good to give young people so much money and attention at a young age. They don't know how to deal with it, especially women. Female athletes like her do not know how to manage this. Maybe she should get, somebody who can manage her, like an agent who can manage things for her, because she obviously can't do it. And let me say this too about Caitlin Clark. They had a picture posted of Caitlin Clark when she's not in her basketball gear. I mean, it is what it is. She, from what I understand, she has a fiance that works for the Indiana Pacers. So, and she not phased at all, man. She knew she was going to get her get back. And, she wasn't going to, she knew, I think in her mind, she was going to do whatever it takes to beat LSU. And she did. And she broke them. And you could tell by their body language, especially Angel Reese. When she dropped that shot in the Angel Reese face, man, that was that was her moment, and they lost. Just, you lost, but all these racism, you're getting paid by white companies. I'm not trying to hit it. I'm sorry. Y'all lost the game. What you deal with is what most male athletes deal with every day. I'm sorry. They deal with it every day. You're making your brand. You're a brand. And you got to handle yourself as a brand. Stop, taunting people on the court is never a good thing. People are going to hold that against you. Because were they mad at you before then, Angel? See, when you do things, it follows you. It follows you. And this game hyped it up. But again, I don't agree with threats. Nobody should be threatening nobody. But again, you lost the game. Take the loss on the chin and move on. That's all you got to do. Yeah, Caitlin Clark handled that loss well. She wasn't pouting and talking about racism and death threats. I mean, come on, man. Seriously? Is that what we talking about here? The last topic we want to talk about tonight, I want to talk about all these tonight. I saw this gem. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so, family. Tia Mowry and ex-husband Corey Hardwick are working things out 1 year after divorce as she tries to earn his trust back. Oh my God. Listen, we all saw this coming. All of us. We knew that she would go crawling back to Corey. And Corey knew this as well. This woman really thought that she was going to replace Corey. And then when she became single, she realized that these dudes didn't want to be in a relationship with her. Like, what? So you mean to tell me you went and you dated? Did you get some some attention from some new guys, and those guys told you straight up, I don't want no relationship? Now you got to go crawling back to Corey? That's crazy. You see, ladies, when you break up with your husband and you're in your damn near in your mid 40s, what do you think you're gonna get out here in these streets? These if you're looking for a man your age, especially a man who's successful in his 40s, he's not trying to wife no woman in their 40s. These men are gonna look for women in their 20s or 30s. They're not looking for no 40-year-old single mother. And I don't know why these women don't understand this. Now she going crawling back to Corey. I knew this was going to happen. I knew she would go back to Corey because Corey's the only one that wants to be with her like that. You left this man for no reason except for you just wanted to get out there and be in these streets. You just wanted to go out there and be in these streets. What did you accomplish being in these streets? Can you tell me, Tia, what you accomplished being in these streets? Tia Mowry has reportedly gotten over the single life and is looking to return back into familiar arms. The Sister star spent the last year searching for a new beau after she and her husband of 14 years, Corey, finalized their divorce in 2023. She wanted to be... Yo, but recently, was it like a couple of months ago, didn't she post on social media like she loving the single life and all that? And that she doesn't look backward, she looks forward. Well, that's bullshit. Tia, who's 45, has been very transparent about her dating struggles following her and Corey's split. So it might not come as a shock that the veteran TV star is supposedly considering reconciling with her ex-husband, as Media Takeout reported. Signs that the actors might be rekindling their romance began to pop up during Thanksgiving of 2023. Tia and Corey spent their Thanksgiving together with their two children, Cairo and Cree. At the time, the mom of two shared a sweet family photo of them on Thanksgiving to her Instagram account. The Mowry Hardwick crew were all smiles, looking like one big happy family. Additionally, Tia looked like she was very much still Corey's wife. She rested her hand on his inner thigh, leaning into him as he hugged their son Cairo as the youngster stood between where his dad was. Some fans social media called out the broken up couple for looking romantic. Tia also telling her fans in a caption that everything was going to be all right could be an indication that her and Corey might be looking to come back together. That's if Tia can earn Corey's trust. Listen, I think this guy's an idiot if he takes her back. But again, he was married to her for so long. Maybe he feels like, he doesn't want to be in a relationship with anybody else except her. He was in it for the long haul, and she ruined it because she wanted to be in these streets. I guess she felt like, she was never single in this modern era, right? Corey wifed her up when she was before social media. And because Corey wifed her up before social media, she never got the chance to be single. And I guess she wanted to experience what it's like to be, in a new situation. And she found out that a lot of men are not seeking a 45-year-old single mother who looks like, a soccer mom. Like, a lot of these guys are not checking for that, You're just a notch on their belt. And you try to tell these heifers that, you need to get out these streets. Like I told Larsa, you look crazy chasing after men like, Marcus Jordan, who damn well his family not going to accept you. But I guess he's younger and she feels like she can control the situation. She's 49 and, she knows Scotty is going to be right there to get with her if she needs him. So she just out here just making a fool of herself. These men are not trying to wife. They're not trying to wife up Tia Mowry. And I think a lot of these older women out here really are making a fool of themselves. They're trying to compete with these younger women, not understanding that, these men are always going to want something younger. They're not going to want an older single mother. That's not happening. And Tia, I want you to listen to me very closely, Tia. I want to bring you close up, Tia. You better hope Corey takes you back. Because Corey could just play the whole, I don't want you back, you ruined the family. He could do that. And he would be well within his right to do that. You ruined and wrecked the family. All because you wanted to be single. You wanted to be seen. You wanted to feel sexy. And now you going back to Corey because you don't like your options. I guarantee you she don't like her options. She thought that she would have better options. Yeah, if it was 10 years ago, maybe. But you're 44, 45 years old. And all of a sudden now, you've come to the conclusion that you may have to go back. Of course you're going to have to go back. A lot of you heifers got to understand when you leave a good man, a good situation, you're not going to find anything better. You're not. Unless you're looking to be single for a very long time. You want to break away from a traditional relationship. You want to do something different. That don't seem to be what you're into. You seem like you wanted a new husband almost, you know, a new relationship. And I don't think she liked her options. I'm going to be real with y'all. I do think that she had some options, but she didn't like those options. And because, you know, she didn't like those options, she had to go back to Corey. That's why I said, Corey, man, you do not have to take this woman back. You really don't. Because it just seems to me that you're like a second option, right? You're a second option. And because, you're a second, your second option, she feels like, she can break up with you and be single again and, break up with you. And, like, don't put yourself in that situation, is what I would tell Corey. Don't be the cleanup man for these heifers. If she wants to be single, let her be single. You want to go? Go. If I'm Corey, I'm going to tell her, listen, we're not getting remarried. That's out the question. Remarriage, I'm going to bring this up close. I'm going to bring both of you close. We're not getting remarried. That's it. We're not walking down the aisle again. We filed divorce paperwork. It's over. You want to go out there in these streets? Go out there in these streets. But we will not continue this bullshit any longer. Let her be for the wolves, man. Let the wolves deal with her. Because there's a lot of them out there. And I'm pretty sure you came across a few, and now you want to go back to Corey. You at Thanksgiving dinner with this guy, taking family photos just a couple of months after you finalized the divorce. A divorce, Tia, that you wanted. You wanted that divorce, Tia. You wanted to leave this man. He wasn't good enough for you anymore. You were having a midlife crisis. You got what you wanted, and guess what? You're going back to Corey. Now, again, this could all change. She could end up, they could end up still being separated. He's dating somebody else, and maybe she ends up dating somebody else. But all the signs are pointing to her wanting to go back to Corey, because she realized that it just wasn't working for her out there. And he could probably do better. Actually be with a woman that wants to be with him. He's in his 40s, but he doesn't look like, he looked like he could pull some younger women. He don't look like age has destroyed him or marriage has destroyed him, which is why I would tell him, listen, don't get remarried, bro. Don't get remarried. Let her stay divorced. And y'all just co-parent at this point. Just co-parent at this point. Y'all don't need to get remarried. Just co-parent. Shout out to everybody that's here. That's it for me. That's all I have for tonight. I appreciate y'all being here. Salute to the moderators, channel members, people that donated, Patreons. Make sure that y'all check out all my other content on my other channels. Make sure that y'all follow me on all the socials. So y'all know when I go live and when I post videos, you dig? So thank y'all for being here. Listen, don't listen. These heifers leave, don't take them back. If the streets is what they want, let the streets have them. Salute to y'all. Thank y'all for being here. This was a great show. And I think we got a lot. We talked about a lot tonight. Yeah, join the channel. Make sure y'all click that join button, man. Become a member. Become a member. All right, people. I'll see y'all in the next one. Y'all take care. Have a great rest of your night, all right?